Coming up on Metrofile this week, total lockdown and mandatory stay-at-home order cripples social activities in Lagos. We speak to ace comedians Alibaba, TA and AY on the impact of it on their businesses.
They also tell us more on how they are coping with the situation as well as the growth of the comedy industry generally in Nigeria.
Hello everyone, it's another weekend,
yes,
and I wish we are here to say finally all these are over, but sadly the reality of the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to stare us right in the face. Even more frustrating is the fact that we don't have an end time to it.
We do not.
Although nothing is happening, but trust us to make something happen just for you.
Yes, it's not the usual Metrofile style that you know, but we all know what's going on in the world at the moment. But we have to come here to give you something. So today we already have told you what we have on the lineup on the show today. But remember that while you watch, don't forget, look out for flash photography. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Metrofile. I'm Anne Nwawadu.
And I'm Ogechukwu. So welcome to the program. Now, come with us. Let's see the effect of COVID-19 on businesses, especially the comedy industry. It's a year that started with lots of hopes and expectations for many around the world. New resolutions, business ideas, and all the aspirations that comes with the new year. A total lockdown and mandatory stay-at-home order was certainly not in the plan amidst this merriment. Sadly, this is the reality today. In order to curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic, many societies across the world, including in Nigeria, have been forced into a lockdown and has taken a toll on many businesses. Lagos is known for many things, and top on that list, it's its high social activities. Weekends are always lit, to borrow a balance from the hip culture. Behind the scenes of these parties are beehives of economic activities, all of which have now ground to a halt. Now, on a regular weekend, this venue, amongst many, are choice venues for weddings, birthdays, and other social events. Now you come here, you see people driving their cars, looking all glamorous for the occasion. But that is no more, as the coronavirus pandemic has forced everyone to stay indoors and top venues like this to shut their doors. With popular giant venues now so quiet, a group of professionals that surely feel the brunt are event compares or masters of ceremonies, if you will. This role is usually preserved for comedians depending on how grand the party is. Predictably, the effect of the pandemic has become a major concern for ace comedian Alibaba.
We are a people in an industry where we survive per day. And for comedians, we actually live by the events that come to us. And that means that we survive every day on. You can't understand the amount of shows that have been cancelled. AY Live was cancelled, Buchi's show was cancelled. I was supposed to have a show that was supposed to select spontaneity winners, people, the stand-up comedians and the new generation comedians. That also has been cancelled. There were several events. There is a Chooks the General's event in Abuja, which is cancelled. There are so many people who, as comedians, provide platforms for other people to grow, from dancers, poets, musicians, big artists to perform. But that too has stopped, and so it's affected us greatly, especially for those of us who don't have monthly salaries and depend on those events.
Exploring other parts, especially online, is now the new cool. Many activities have now been forced to go online.
Comedians have woken up to it, but it's just as a section of comedy. There are comedians who are stand-up comedians who perform straight to their audience. There are comedians who do online comedy. MC Lively, Lasisi Elenu, and then the Emanuela lady. So there are quite a lot of people who have been doing online. So attention just shifted to their platform because of the circumstances that we're in. And then a lot of other comedians who have not been online are also now trying to catch up. Because you have a fan base that needs to be fed. You have a relevance that needs to be maintained. You also have, because this relevance is really not about making money now, it's just putting yourself in presence of mind of your possible customers, of your fans and possible customers. And the idea is that a lot of us are beginning to catch on.
Now, but do you think this will change the course of our lives when all these are over?
Oh yes, now we know the relevance of hygiene. One, relevance of hygiene. Two, we know the importance of socializing. So you don't take the relationships that you have for granted. So now you now know how important some of those relationships were. We also then now have the understanding that we should diversify our economy. That's most important. At the time, we were selling oil for about $130 per barrel, $140 per barrel. Some governors came together and said, just give us the excess crude, just share it, let's just share it. But it's just to say that the things we should have invested in, we did not. So this COVID pandemic has opened our eyes to some of them. I hope that with all this that is going on, there'll be a reawakening, there'll be readjustment, relearning, and then we then begin to focus on the things that will get us out of it, because there's going to be the downtime right now is heavy.
I grew up in Okumagba layout, which is like the GRA of and they talk Japa people, they talk.
Yeah. You are one of those who try to bring in the commercial part of the. Yes. So when you look back at the ones coming after you right now, do you see hope?
Oh yes, I do. Let me. It took me 1987, 88, 89, from 1987 till 1994 to earn my first 1 million naira. That's about like 6 years to earn my first 1 million naira from Guinness, and Satzenbrow at the time. But now it can take a comedian who is good 2 weeks to earn that 1 million naira. If he appears at 2-3 events where they pay him 300, he's already there. Sometimes you even get a comedian that is very good that will earn that 1 million naira per event. Or
a comedian that will have maybe 2 to 3 events in a day.
And if you have a comedian who does like 3 events in a day, he does one wedding in the afternoon, in the evening he does a dinner, and maybe he's performing as a stand-up, so it's not the MC. So he can pop in, do his 20-30 minutes comedy and dash to another place. So he's moved from Civic Center to Eco Hotel to Muson Center, and he's cleaned out about like 3 million naira. So the hope is there. More so, the internet, an internet of things. The internet right now has blown open the potentials of a lot of comedians. So I believe that there's a lot more hope on the generation that is coming, which is why you find that nearly every comedian who is good in 5 years can own his own home. Every comedian that is good can own a car, which is why we started the Spontaneity program, where comedians come out, take a topic and crack jokes and win a car. And if you are a comedian and you know you can win a car that is worth 6 million naira, something tells you that this industry is big enough to accommodate every other person. Yes.
The unity in the comedy industry for the king of comedy has also helped all these achievements to become reality.
Our unity in stand-up comedy is the fact that we all see that we are not even enough to satisfy the market. It's not like somebody says, oh, there are enough doctors, let the rest travel out. No, we are not enough, because every day in Lagos, you are sure, if it were not for the lockdown, every Saturday you are sure that 40 to 50 comedians will be busy. I'm talking top level comedians. And some of the top level comedians will go with about 2 or 3 young comedians to those places. When he performs, he allows them to come on and then test their elements on stage. So we are our own support, and that the competition is not there. The competition is there, but we do not acknowledge the competition.
Healthy competition.
Yes, it's a healthy competition, so we don't acknowledge it in the sense of bickering. We accept it, but use it to drive ourselves to the ultimate platforms. Yeah.
Welcome back. You're still watching Metrofile on Channels Television. And we're not done just yet. When we return on the program, we'll continue to hear from comedians AY and TA on the effect of COVID-19, the lockdown, and how it is affecting the comedy industry.
Comedian TA, who is one of the most sought-after masters of ceremonies in Nigeria, he shares the same sentiments with Alibaba.
For me, like speak for every event professional out there, I think we're one of the worst hit. A lot of us had events prior to the lockdown that even the state government had been putting in place some kind of lockdown, and there was cutting down gatherings to 25. So that already affected some events. Now, future events is what we're even thinking about now. I had a wedding for the 22nd of November that was cancelled, that's been postponed. I was supposed to work almost throughout the month of April. All the events in April are gone, starting from the 3rd, 5th, 11th, 18th, 23rd, even 30th of April. Those are dates that have already been locked in my memory, that have been booked. Some of them even fully paid for, some of them booked some of them just booked tentatively, some deposited. So basically there's no revenue coming in the month of April from our regular day job. So we're all just waiting with bated breath and trying to figure out when this will pass over all of us.
In the midst of all the gloom that the pandemic has brought upon the world, he believes safety and survival comes first.
The most important thing for everyone is safety first. Stay at home, stay safe with your family, and then let us try and help the government control the spread. Because the problem, the government, I keep following the Commissioner for Health, the Lagos State Governor, the NCDC, the problem they seem to have now is with local transmission. No flights is coming in, so there's no more imported cases. So the best we can do is to sit at home, stay at home. But the longer we sit at home and stay at home, the more our small savings is being depleted. And then there's nothing to look forward to. So that's where the economic issue lies. And survival is the ultimate for anyone. In church, they say it's only the living that can say, praise the Lord. Once there's life, there's hope. And we're a very hopeful society for that matter. So it doesn't matter for me how long we stay at home, as long as we come out of it well, hale and earthy, we can see each other once again, smiles, get a bit closer than we currently are. The things get to normalize. We will definitely, we will definitely get back on our feet. Also, as a Christian, I also believe that God is using this time to heal the world, and by the time God is done healing the world, we'll definitely be in a better place.
TA believes this period has opened many eyes to other convenient ways to transact business and other matters.
One thing that's so clear in this period is that we waste a lot of time in doing business. Come for meeting here, can we have a meeting here? You burn fuel, you go across the state just to have a 5-10 minute conversation. Everybody is on Zoom now. Everybody is on, working from home. So there's a lot, everybody's on conference calls, things that you would put driver on the road, put car on the road, enter traffic 3 hours just to have a 30 minutes meeting. So operationally, we all need to also learn that there are some things that we are gaining from this. If it is absolutely not necessary, there's no reason to gather people together at the round table. No. We've had association meeting in my estate. This is funny enough, this is where we normally hold the meetings, but the last meeting, everybody here was in the comfort of their home. We all dialing into Zoom, and the meeting still held. Even those who are not residents, who own property here, they were able to join. So in terms of life as we know it, has actually changed before our very eyes. The online shopping space that has been very difficult to crack, all of a sudden, everybody's looking for, is there anybody is there how we can get this thing online and have it delivered? So in terms of our general way of life, there's so much lessons that we can learn.
And when the lockdown is over, what's next? We
still want to, look at, like I said, evaluate what we've been doing, our business processes, our lifestyle, as it were, and determine, okay, where do we cut excesses? How do we manage? Where do we start saving? Where do we have other sources of income that we can start working on, or do we have other areas that we can invest in? And so, people will, a lot of things will change.
My guy, they're going to sing from Lagos to London. He shake a bomb.
He had planned his regular A-grade comedy show, AY Live, for the 12th of April this year. Now, like many other social events, it had to be cancelled.
We all probably didn't see this coming. We didn't see this coming. Even when I fixed my show, I was 100% confident of the fact that the show was still going to hold. On the basis that Easter Sunday is yet to come. So I was busy sharing with my management, my team, like it's still very possible. So until the reality of this COVID-19, you wake up today and you hear one story in one city or another country and what have you, and then the reality started hitting on us. And AY Live was built for Easter Sunday, April 12th, but then we had to postpone it. It was very sad to have come out to make that announcement. They haven't spent a lot of money, publicity, promotions, everything, even artists has been committed. So, but at the end of the day, we had to face reality. I mean, the lives of the people coming for the shows are much more important than you just going there all in the name of wanting to do business and make money as well. We are praying that this whole thing will just come and go, because for me, it has affected every part of my business. Every part of my business. There's no money coming in. As a matter of fact, it's what you have saved that's where you just go and collect from. So if this whole thing doesn't go and we run out, then it's going to be let's tag that one an in-house pandemic.
He is, however, optimistic that when this is all over, we might see a quick bounce back of the economy.
You never can tell. The economy has its dynamics. As a matter of fact, you can come back, and when you come back, when we all come back to our daily activities, it could, in life, some things come with a plus and comes with some sort of minus. So you never can tell. It's going to be a plus for a lot of people as well. As we're here now, those who are selling data, they are making money.
They are the biggest gainers.
So I'm talking about plus. Those selling food, now they know that, yes, people need to stock up. So they have excesses in their homes right now, and they have their money with them as well. So you never can tell. So when the whole thing picks up, it might just happen that the sectors that will be affected positively will go on to enjoy the benefits, and how such benefits will rub off on the economy generally will define and dictate how the pace of every other thing can become. the world is not going to go down just like that. I mean, there has been wars, and people come out of it and get back to business. The economy picks up, and every other thing, you know, moves. So, likewise, this is a pandemic, and it's not the first time that the world will be hit with something like this. I mean, Ebola came, and then we got ourselves back, even if it didn't go round the entire world. But then the people who got affected also, you know, came back, and they are all alive and kicking and doing business. So yes, there is hope, and this is a good time to have that sober reflection, that we should pause for a while, look at ourselves, and try to do some sort of rejigging here and there that will affect us even much more positively.
The use of the online medium is also coming in very handy for AY. He's taken advantage of it in this lockdown season. As
a matter of fact, it's turned out to be a pretty good timing for my latest work, Call to Bar, which is a comedy series which I presently have on YouTube. So that is ongoing, and you can tell with the way people are going there to see it. I looked at it just this morning. It was trending. So I'm also doing something come Easter Sunday. AY Live is built for Easter Sunday, April 12th. So what we have decided to do is to have an online version of the show for lovers of the brand, people who has been following the brand in the last 13, 14 years, to be able to sit back at home and get to see AY Live online.
He, however, wants everyone to take the lockdown and social distancing directives seriously.
A lot of people, they still don't understand the magnitude, the gravity of what is called a pandemic. And you're not understanding it. Our prayer is that you do not learn the hard way, because if you find yourself in that position, then the message would be clear.
Showing love at these times will certainly go a long way, and they believe this is the moment to look out for one another.
People below us who don't have it that good, their colleagues who are even directly below us, who are having challenges, who have kids, who have families, and they don't have that much to take care of them. So even if it's foodstuffs and stuff like Alibaba and a couple of people came up with a comic relief project, you know, to support upcoming comedians who might not have much, just with this, just for this period. And I think it's one of the best things I've seen, you know, that at least we are trying our own best to take care of our own people.
That's what we're also doing, and it's being championed by the king of comedy, Alibaba, who is an outright father figure, understands it. He's the one carrying all of us along and making us understand how dangerous it will be if these guys are not taken care of. As a matter of fact, one of the examples that I got from all of this is when the pandemic is over, these guys are just going to settle for just anything, and then it won't be within the professional standard that would expect them to embark on.
A couple of us, Basket Mouth, Oke Bakasi, AY, Benga Denka, and Funny Bone, decided that there's a need for us to do something for these young comedians, because some of the young comedians have not actually broken into the industry yet. Some of them have not been totally accepted. The very good ones have, but the ones that have not been totally accepted, it's a time bomb if you ignore them. If we do not support these guys now, first, they will not know the relevance of being in the business. They will not know that people are there in the business who watch their back as well. They will not know what to do for the next generation after theirs. So it's best for us to then step up and give them some succor.
And for the big lesson.
Most importantly, as a creative, the fundamental lesson that I've learned from this is we need to save. We need to save. As creatives or as entertainers, our lifestyle is always project-based. you work from one project to another. Once you do a project, you make a lot of money from that project. Immediately, you think of the next project. Okay, let me invest in this next project, or let me diversify and do this project. If I do a concert, for instance, in the moment I make money from that concert, I use part of the money to deposit for the hall for next year. Or I say, okay, I've done a concert now, let me do a TV show. Let me take the process. So we live from projects to projects. We are not the saving type, you know, because we know that, okay, in another week or next, another money will come and it will fund whatever we want to do. So the culture to save is not there.
As individuals, we have our lessons to learn, and as a government, they also have quite a lot to learn, because if you look at what the pandemic has done, it has exposed the health sector or sectors in Nigeria and maybe other part of Africa, and then you hear in the news. You just have a confirmation that we're not fully prepared for this. So this, in a way, would give room to the health sector to plan. And after we come out of this pandemic, there should be a major need to take care of that sector.
We should learn not to be frivolous. We should learn to diversify. We should learn to be accountable for monies that are voted for certain things. We should learn to prioritize. And I believe that schools will be affected as well. There'll be a lot more for people to catch up on. And Liverpool will not win the league. So Arsenal is still undefeated. I'm so useless right now. Club. I'm so. Thank God.
Finding humor in these challenging times is also paramount. With their jobs temporarily gone, this may just be the time for everyone to draw inspiration and be creative in hope of a boom when things normalizes.
Well, it's a sorry situation, but survival comes first in all of this, and that is why we should continue to observe the health and safety measures and the social distancing directive. And we know that this too shall definitely come to pass.
That's a prayer on everyone's lips. I can't wait for the Owambe parties that we always show you on Metrofile. I mean, I know we all miss that, right? But don't forget, wash your hands. Use your hand sanitizers as many times as you can. Social distancing, very important. If you don't have anything doing outside, please stay at home, all right? Thank you so much for watching today's edition of Metrofile. And don't forget, keep yourself busy by going to channelstv.com. You find various editions of Metrofile. And of course, our Twitter handles are there. So we need your feedback. Keep them coming. If you want to find out details about the program, we sure will be here to answer everything you need to know. So please call that number. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawodu.
And I'm Oge Chukwuosi. Until we return here again next week, we want to meet you alive, so stay safe. Bye for now.